Steve speaking, digital marketer for DMS. I just wanted to share this document with you. Actually, to give you a little bit of context, I created this document for a friend of mine. She's a dentist, and right now she's having a hard time making the decision with her partners because they don't seem to know if this is going to be successful or not, right? If you are in this case, you don't know if you should invest in web marketing or any type of marketing, this video is for you. Number one, before I get started, I gotta say something that I really believe in. Number one, I feel like if without marketing, something terrible happens. Nothing will happen if you don't market. That's a fact. So now you have to select the best marketing channel, make it work, and then maybe invest in other channels as well. So here, this is a case study with actual numbers that we have for different partners that we work with, okay? So here you have the name of the partner or their company. Here you have the daily budget. So this is the daily Google Ads budget that we allocate to the campaign, okay? So that's pretty easy, $50 a day. This one is $30 a day. So monthly, you just gotta multiply that in your head by 30. So monthly, those ones are spending $1,500. Maybe this one is spending $1,000, etc. Right? So here you have the cost per click. The cost per click is the amount that you are spending each time someone clicks on your ad, on your campaign. Okay. So the way it's calculated is mostly based on a bid, right? So if a company is willing to spend $6, they may be number one. And then if another company comes and say, hey, you know what, we're willing to spend $6.10, they'll be number one. Okay. So I would say that 70% of the result is based on the bidding. The other 30%, 30 or 40% more or less, is it depends on the relevancy of your ad or of your campaign or the landing page where you direct the traffic. If, for instance, your landing page is terrible, it's slow, it's not responsive, which means it doesn't really work well on mobile or anything else. If Google feels like the ad or the campaign or the keywords or the landing page is not relevant, they may bump up your cost per click because they want to discourage you from being on place number one, right, on position number one, because they want to make sure that when someone clicks on an ad, they are served a relevant result. Okay, so a great marketer like us a great marketer is going to try to do everything he or she can to lower the cost per click as much as they can. This is why you shouldn't do it yourself. You should actually ask someone that's really good at it to do it for you. It will save you a lot of money in the short term, not even in the long term, in the short term. Here you have the monthly visits. This is very easy to calculate. You just take the budget that you spend, the monthly budget, and you divide that by the average cost per click. That will give you the average number of visits that you will get each month. This is just math, right? On this column here, you have the conversion rate. So the conversion rate is the percentage. It's the percentage of people who perform the task that you want them to perform. Okay. So if, for instance, you want people to give you their contact information or call you, okay, the conversion is the number of people who do just that. The conversion rate is the percentage of people who convert, right? So if 100 people come to your website or your landing page, wherever we send them, and 22% of them or 22 people give you their contact information or call you, we'll say that your conversion rate is 22%, right? So here, 22% converted into monthly into prospects. So we had 256 visits, 22% converted, and that gives you 56 leads, 56 potential clients, or 56 prospects. You can hear all these different terms every month, right? So here you have the cost per prospect. So that's pretty easy to calculate. All you got to do is take the number of prospects. Basically, you divide the monthly budget by the number of prospects, and that will give you a number, right? And this number is the cost per prospect, right? In Google Ads, we'll say something like cost per conversion, right? Same thing, cost per prospect, cost per conversion is the same thing. Here we have the sales closing rate, closing ratio, your ability to close. So same thing, it's a percentage. If 20 people, if you are able to sell to 20 people every time you have 100 prospects, you will have a 20% closing ratio. This is very important. I would say that if you close anything below 20%, then you may want to read about sales. You may want to improve your sales process. And if you have any question about the sales process or how to bump up your numbers, make sure to contact me. I'll be very happy to help you out. But you want to have at least 20%. Now, in some cases, for instance, here we have a client that closes only 10% of his conversions. He sells something that's significantly higher, substantially higher than the competition. So therefore, his pricing structure is reducing or is lowering his closing ratio. But at the same time, his margin is higher. So, give and take, it's about the same results, maybe less work because he has less clients to serve. So that's his strategy. So here, the number of sales, that's easy. You just gotta take the number of prospects time, you multiply that by the closing ratio, and that will give you the number of sales. Easy, right? And here you have the cost of acquisition. So what that means is the cost to get a new client, basically. Very simple. So this number, every business needs to know this number, right? If you don't know this number, you need to quickly maybe call your accountant and have them tell you how much it currently costs you to get a new client. Every business has a cost. If you're not paying financially with money, you're paying with time, you're paying with something else. So you have a cost of acquisition, and your job as a business is to try to find creative ways to try to lower this cost or decrease this cost of acquisition. But it has to be realistic as well. You're gonna have to pay to get new clients. This is just the way business works, right? So moving on, if you look at the average transaction, this is something that you need to know, and your accountant can help you out. All you have to do is take your revenue, so all the sales that you made. Let's say that you sold for $1 million for the last 12 months, and then you'll take the number of transactions that you had, right? So if you had 1 million transactions and you made $1 million, that means that your average transaction is $1, right? So you'll need to maybe talk to your accountant so they can tell you what's your average transaction. Here you have the revenue. So the revenue is the average transaction multiplied by the number of sales. Very easy, right? Here you have the margin of benefit. So most services or most service-oriented businesses, they have a margin somewhere around 20 to 30%, which means for every $100 that they get to keep 20 to 30%, right? So you need to know this number as well. If you don't know this number, you need to call your accountant so he can give you an idea of what your margin is, right? This number is crucial. If you don't know this number, we cannot really help you because we don't know if we're going to be beneficial or detrimental. So it's very important to have an idea of this number. Here we have the monthly management of the campaign or campaigns. It depends how many campaign we have. So here on average, we calculated $300 per month for the marketing management. You're going to pay someone to market for you. Okay, if it's a small campaign, it's going to be somewhere around $200, maybe $300. If it's a bigger campaign, it's going to be more. If you actually have a marketing team or if you hire someone to do marketing full-time, then it's going to be a lot higher. So what you need to do is understand the potential value that the person who markets for you is going to do, and then try to see how much money they are going to put in your pocket until you understand how much money you're supposed to pay them. My rule of thumb is 1 for 4. So if I pay someone $1, I'm trying to get $4 back because I have taxes and different things like that, right? So here on average, we charge around $300 to do this type of work. So now you have the profit. So the profit is the benefit, the revenue, actually it's 30% of the revenue, and we subtract the monthly budget that we spent in Google. We also subtract the monthly management fee, right? So if you do it yourself, you won't have management fee, right? But if you do spend 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a month on Google, it'll be expensive because you just gotta deduct maybe 4 or 5 hours of your work. Say that you are worth $50 an hour, then at the end, give and take is going to be about the same amount. So these are real numbers. So here, for instance, these guys, you have the actual profit that they made by working with us. So this is here. Our value in this work is lowering the cost per click as much as we can, improving the conversion rate, by creating really good landing pages. For instance, if you take this client here, just take a look at his profit. You see the profit here? You see this number? Keep this number in your mind, right? Now we're gonna go back. And so when we started, they created their own website and they try to do it on their own, the Google ad. And this was their conversion rate, right? So this was their conversion rate. See, the number is significantly lower, right? They didn't make that much money at all, actually. Look at the revenue. The revenue is only 12 now. It was like something like 50, just because the conversion rate went way higher. The reason why it went way higher is because we got marketers on staff, so we can create compelling landing pages, etc., etc. So the mistake you shouldn't make is, I got a website, I don't need to create a landing page. You don't need to do anything, you're the boss. But if you come with 5%, then you'll complain. Google is not working. It's not working for me. Well, to be honest with you, I've even seen pages that do not convert at all. So 0% conversion rate, this is the profit. You're actually down because you're paying someone to do your ad. Actually, you're down even more because you're actually paying the ad as well. So this is it. So hopefully you learned something new with this. What you can do is, if you didn't understand what I said because it was a little fast or there were too many numbers, it was boring or anything like that, please make sure you contact me so I can give you more information. So if you come back on this tab here, you can click on this link and click again here. It'll take you to this beautiful page, and on this page you'll be able to simply, it's a little slow because I got the video running at the same time, but here you'll be able to book me at your convenience. Thank you very much.